phylum Chordata. This is the last phylum. All chordates are included in the same phylum. The phylum Chordata is classified into three subphyla. Subphyla is the plural of subphylum. Phylum is the singular and phyla is the plural. The three subphylum are subphylum Urochordata, subphylum Cephalochordata, and subphylum Vertebrata. Now let us see the characteristics of phylum Chordata. A notochord is present in the body during at least any developmental stage. Pharyngeal gill slits are present in the body during at least any one developmental stage. Single tubular spinal cord is present on the dorsal side of the body. Heart is present on ventral side of the body. Now, what is the meaning of the word notochord? Notochord means it is a cartilaginous skeletal rod supporting the body in all embryonic and some adult chordate animals. It's like you can say it is the first stage of the vertebral column. So let us see subphylum Urochordata. They are marine animals. Body is covered by the tunic-like covering. If you see that diagram over there, larvae of these animals are freely swimming and notochord is present only in the tail region of larvae. Hence, they are called as Urochordata. Larvae metamorphosis or changes into adults after settling down at bottom of the sea. Generally, these animals are hermaphrodite, not very easily seen or surrounding. You don't get to see them so much. Subphylum Cephalochordata. They are small fish-like marine animals. Notochord is present throughout the body length. Pharynx is very large and contains the gill slits. See the pharyngeal gills shown over there in the diagram. These animals are unisexual. Subphylum Vertebrata or Craniata. In these animals, notochord is replaced by vertebral column. So you get a proper developed spinal cord or vertebral column. In this animal, head is well developed. Brain is protected by cranium. That is why they are also called as craniata. Endoskeleton is either made up of bone or made up of cartilage. Some chordates are jawless, whereas some of them are having jaws. And this subphylum vertebrate is classified further into 6 classes that we will be seeing now. Subphylum Vertebrata is divided into 6 classes as follows. The first one is class Cyclostomata. They have a jawless mouth and they have a sucker because most of them are parasites and they need to suck the food from the food or nutrition from the host. Their skin is soft and without any scale. Paired appendages are absent. Their endoskeleton is made up of cartilage. Most of them are ectoparasite. Example, Petromyzin and Maxine. Then we come to class Pisces. Class Pisces or Pisces as we call them are fish. If you see this fish and all, they have a lot of modifications that are shown on their body part because they are aquatic animals and they have developed a lot of modification based on their habitat. Now, they are cool-blooded aquatic animals living in the fresh water or marine water. Now, what are cool-blooded? Cool-blooded means that animals whose body temperature cannot be easily controlled. That means if it is cold, outside temperature is cold, their body temperature becomes cold. If outside is hot, their body temperature becomes hot. Body is spindle shaped. Now, what is the meaning of spindle shape? If you look at a fish, the shape is such that it is pointed at both the ends. And because it is pointed at both the ends, they face less resistance while they are swimming. We know that if you remember force and pressure, that smaller the area, greater is the effect of force and pressure. In the same way, if the mouth part is pointed, then when they are swimming, there is a minimum water resistance. They have paired and unpaired fins. They have a tail fin which is works like a radar when they are moving. It helps them in changing of direction. Exoskeleton is present as scales and in endoskeleton is present as cartilage or bone. Respiration occurs through gill. If you see, there are gill slits through which they take in the water. and oxygen dissolved in water, and they are able to utilize that oxygen. Example is pomfret, seahorse, shark, etc. Class amphibia. Amphibians are the ones they can stay in water as well as at land. So slowly the evolution is happening in which from water we are trying to go to land. Now amphibia, when they are in the larvae stage, that is in the early stages of their development, they are just like fish and they stay in water. They also have a tail and they also breathe through gills. But as they become adult, they live on water as well as on land, and they are able to perform respiration in both the places. They have two paired appendages. Now, appendages means the movement. So the paired appendages. Now paired appendages is like when we are in our body. If you look at the human body, we have got two hands and two legs. The hands are called as the forelimbs or four appendages, and the behind one are called as hind. So four here is not FOUR, it is FORE. So they also have like kind of two pairs of appendage. If you see, now they are called forearms and legs, and they do have digits, fingers like digits, and they do not have any claws or any nails. Exoskeleton is absent, so they do not have exoskeleton, and skin can also breathe. External ear is absent and neck is also absent. So example is toad, frog, etc. Next is class reptile or reptilia. Now, according to the course of animal evolution, these are the first animals who are truly land animals or terrestrial animals. They move about with a creeping movement because their legs are very small as compared to their body. So they really cannot walk that fast. They look as if they're crawling and creeping. If you see the example, you will understand things like lizard and all. They are again cold-blooded. They creep on land as their body cannot be lifted up in the small legs. Their skin is dry and scaly. Neck is present between the head and the trunk. External ear is absent and digits are provided with claws. Examples: tortoise, lizard, snakes, etc. Fifth class is class aves. They are the birds. Again, they show a lot of adaptation because they have a aerial life. That means they fly. These vertebrates are completely adapted for aerial life. They are warm-blooded. Now we saw water cold-blooded. Cold-blooded means when your body temperature becomes, in cold it becomes cold, and whereas in very hot climate it becomes hot. But whereas what is the meaning of warm-blooded? Warm-blooded means animals which are able to change or vary their body temperature little. That means, say for example, see warm blood. If the definition, if you look at it, warm-blooded are those animal species which can maintain a body temperature higher their environment. For example, suppose it's cold outside climate, so they try to take in warm food or they try and maintain the body temperature as warm. Suppose the outside temperature is very hot, then we try to take in cold food so that our body temperature reduces. Means we try to maintain a proper body temperature with respect to the outside. That condition is called as homeostasis. If you remember, we have learned it in the lower classes also. So these are warm-blooded animals and they can maintain their body temperature constant. Their body is also spindle shaped just like the fish so that they get minimum air resistance while flying. Their forelimbs gets modified into wings. If you see, their hind limbs are like legs with they have claws. They also have digits and they have also claws which helps them uh, holding on to and tearing on flesh, things like that. Then exoskeleton is present in the form of feathers. Neck is present between head and trunk. Jaws are modified into beak. For example, any bird, peacock, parrot, pigeon, duck, and number of birds that we know of. The last one is class Mammalia. Very unique. They have a very unique characteristics. They have mammary glands. Mammary glands are milk producing glands. Mammals are the only animals who produces milk for their babies, and the babies are able to drink the mother's milk. right from human to dog to cattle. We know that they have this. Even monkeys, they all have these mammary glands, and that's why they are called as mammals. So presence of mammary gland is a very typical characteristics of mammalia. They are warm blooded. Body is divided into head, neck and trunk, and sometimes tail. Digits are provided with nails, claws or hooves, like in case of goat and etc. Exoskeleton is in the form of hair or fur. Example can be varied from elephant to human to bats to dolphin. Thank you. That completes the chapter.